The United States national debt has exceeded $40 trillion for the first time, setting a new record as the Trump administration grapples with rising borrowing costs. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has downplayed the milestone, saying the U.S. will have to grow its way out of the debt burden. The debt has increased under successive administration, driven by government spending, tax cuts, wars, and economic crisis. Despite U.S. President Donald Trump's repeated pledges to reduce the national debts, the U.S. has added nearly $4 trillion since its return to the office.
It's not hard to find out how high the U.S. national debt is. There are websites that track it. It just surpassed a record $40 trillion. But Trump administration officials are downplaying the significance.
The 40 trillion is a big number. It is smaller when we look at the publicly traded amount because our Social Security funds and other government entities hold a substantial amount. And what we're going to do, we're going to have to grow our way out of this.
The last time the United States didn't have a debt, President Andrew Jackson made a point of paying it off in 1835. But deficits this large are a uniquely modern problem. President George W. Bush, he increased the debt with the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, along with tax cuts. President Barack Obama increased the debt by almost $6 trillion just in his first term, but he was fighting the Great Recession. Donald Trump, in his first term, added on almost $8 trillion, much of it fighting the economic impacts of the COVID pandemic, which President Joe Biden continued, also adding to the debt with spending on infrastructure and clean energy projects. And now, in Trump's second term, the nation's almost $4 trillion more in debt, something he repeatedly promised not to do during both of his campaigns.
For many, many years, the United States has suffered through massive trade deficits. That's why we have $20 trillion in debt. So we'll be changing that. We're going to pay off debt, the $35 trillion in debt.